Alright, see if I can do this properly. Alright, so 2025 race car update. We didn't really sign up for many events this year because I am retiring from the Army this year. As we speak, I'm currently on my terminal leave. And I didn't know with the new job what kind of leave and availability I'd have to go and do all these other events. You know, I am still interested in doing Six Summer, maybe I get it on the wait list. I am prepared to go to King of the Mountain and hopefully LS Fest. I haven't missed one since I was unable to go due to COVID. So, you know, here's hoping. Right now, I went and picked up a couple motors that I got off a guy for doing some work and tearing into them to see what's good, bad, and indifferent. So, motor number one. This is a Gen 4 6 liter. Unfortunately, it ate a piston. It is a non-AFM VVT motor. Crank looked amazing. The 7 pistons look good. There is a chunk taken out of the skirt on one of the pistons here. There we go. Oh, yeah, making noise. Yeah, so took a little chunk out of the skirt. Well, the kind of right by the wrist pin on number 7, I think it is 7 or 8. 8. So it deleted 7. 8 took some damage, so might be able to find a piston and 2 rods, because I don't know what the condition of this rod is, and get away with a bottom end. So you can see parts of piston laying on the ground that I had to knock out of the motor. So, I mean, the crank looked amazing. The lifters look great. Not sure why it ate a single piston. All the skirts and everything else on the other pistons look great. Mains looked great. Rods looked great. Even the bad piston rod bearing looked amazing. Still spun on the crank real nice. Here's that bearing actually. Focus you. Yeah, so just a small little bit of debris, but otherwise it looks great. And then this is the other motor I got. This is a Gen 3, I believe. I haven't really checked the pan very well yet. It could have the 4 rods, but I believe it has the Gen 3 rods. 5.3. And he did this motor up, was getting ready to put in a truck. Wanted to kind of do a junkyard build with a turbo on it. And as you can see, the crank's just kind of hanging out the front of the block. Well, it pulled one of the bearings through and he gave up on it. So this one should just need cam bearings and be good to go. So hopefully we can get lucky on that one, knock some cam bearings in it, have a good 5.3 for maybe the Cutlass. You know, the Cutlass is burning a lot of oil. Here's that crank out of the one that ate the piston. Good 58X crank. Is actually the only good 58X crank I have. I do have a 58X motor. I got a Gen 4 aluminum 6 liter with square port heads, but the crank was destroyed, and I think I had 2 rods that were bad in it. This one was beat. The skirt was, you know, kind of worn in pretty heavy on the pistons. It had 8 rod bearings and then pushed debris through the motor. So this one I'm going to take up to my buddy Lane Automotive in Fulton, Illinois. Have him deck everything, true everything, new cam bearings, hot tank it. And we're going to use this one as a new Nova motor. This is my brother-in-law's LQ9 that had some issues. I can't even recall what it was. But I took the rotating assembly out of this block for this block. Actually, that's the crank right there, 24X crank. This currently has my damaged crank, which it might be all right. Obviously, that deleted rod, and I guarantee the one on the other side ain't good. And the mystery missing piston was vaporized from my motor. So hopefully, with some of the parts that I have from this motor, that motor, not that one. That one barks too much. That motor, which is the piston's bottom end off of that one. And then that motor, we can get 2, maybe 3 good motors out of these, you know, with minor parts, you know, lifters and whatnot. Yeah, I know, I owe you belly scratches. Secondly, we're doing a little slot car racing. I actually built the track in my basement. Got a little B coupe going on over here, trying to get everything set up. I'm trying to get my sprint car ready to go right there. Getting the daughter into it, actually building a car for her over there. Got the, you know, pink paint as requested. And then maybe, hopefully, I get some work done to this thing. Part of me wants to send this off to Midwest Novas, have them back half it. I don't mind doing the mini tubs. I've already cut most of it out of this side. However, it needs a tail pan. It really probably could use a trunk pan. The bumper filler panel in the rear is gone. The gas tank straps are kind of weak. It's got, you know, pinholes in the trunk, some damage in the trunk. So part of me is like, well, I sort of know my limits and my abilities. You know, I did knock some dents out of it here, but maybe I just take it to them and have them do the hard back half work on the nice car, and I can finish it up from there. I already done floors in it, front subframe mounts, because this one was the car that sat in a farmer's field and under a pull tarp, and it had rotted the passenger side subframe mount. And we looked for 5 years, got a 73 front half that we were going to cut the torque box, they call it, out of that subframe, or out of that dash cowl area, and put on this car. And after getting it, we realized it was a ton of work. We were going to bend the crap out of it, have a million spot welds to drill, and then somebody started stamping them. So we got a brand new stamped one, welded in there way easier. We ended up, I think, donating or junking the 73 cowl that we had picked up. So yeah, motorcade 2025. We got, like I said, I got a lot of spare parts, miscellaneous pieces laying around here, there, everywhere. So hopefully we go through, we can find enough pieces to get a few motors together. You know, the Cutlass motor is actually really good, great oil pressure. It just burns oil like the Exxon Valdez. That was a motor that I picked up that had standing water in the cylinders, and I was disgusted with it, so I just knocked the water out of it, sprayed it down with WD-50 or WD-40, and slapped heads on it, and away I went. I didn't even clean the debris out of the cylinders. I was like, whatever, kind of like the C10. The C10's got a paper gasket 4.8. I said if that motor made it 1 month, it was, you know, a good deal. I believe that motor's going on 4 years. I've recently turned it up. I think it's running on 16 pounds of boost, non-intercooled, on decapped injectors, E85, and I know it ain't got a lot of time left in it, but that motor just keeps chugging along. So, you know, sometimes it's the ones that you think are going to blow up very easily that last the longest. So that'll do it for now. Appreciate you guys hanging out, checking out, seeing how everything's going. Trying to get, you know, a bunch of projects done before I start my new job, which I haven't even applied for yet. I've got a government hiring freeze, so I was asked to come do a job, and I got to get off leave first before I can go do that one. So we're gonna enjoy a little leave, get some projects done here in the garage with the vehicles and in the house, do some work for a few buddies. We got Dave's SSR coming back. We had converted that truck over to Holly. I didn't get the cold start up quite right, so he has to start it twice. And then he wants to change one of the gauges that no longer works after we did the swap to a fuel pressure gauge, which I advise him to do because we don't have fuel pressure in that truck, and it'd be a nice safety to add to it. He's thrilled with it. We're probably also going to do the I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there's a company out there that you do a conversion box and you can do cruise control. So we're going to add cruise control to that truck as well, either now or in the future, depending on how long I have it and how motivated I get to figure out SSR wiring, because I got to figure out how to activate it and increase, decrease off the stock. So if one of you guys are secretly have that information for GM call them stock cruise control wiring schematics. It's a 2003 Chevy SSR, which I'm sure is probably the same thing as a Blazer, Trailblazer, Yukon, Silverado, because it's basically a truck chassis with a kind of a cart-ish body on top. So, all right, that'll do it for now. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you later. Out.